Cheating doesn't begin with lipstick on the collar or unexplained late nights. It begins with words. Subtle little phrases she slips into conversation, thinking they'll hide her tracks, when in reality they expose her guilt more than anything else. The scary truth: most men overlook it. They hear those phrases and instantly turn the blame inward. They get gaslighted into silence, convinced they're paranoid or insecure. But a woman's tongue always betrays her heart. And when she's unfaithful, there are certain lines she'll drop without even realizing it. Red flags disguised as harmless words. Today I'm going to uncover those phrases, because once you hear them for what they really are, you'll never ignore your gut again. 1. She says, "Why don't you trust me?" At first, it sounds innocent, even reasonable. A woman with wide eyes, maybe even a touch of hurt in her voice, asking, "Why don't you trust me?" Most men crumble at this point. They feel guilty. They start questioning themselves. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm the problem. But here's the darker reality when a woman throws out, "Why don't you trust me?" out of nowhere. It's usually because deep down she already knows she's not worthy of your trust. Her conscience leaks out through her words. Psychologists call it projection, a defense mechanism where someone shifts their guilt onto another person. Instead of confronting her betrayal, she paints you as paranoid, insecure, unreasonable. The spotlight moves off her behavior and onto your reaction. That way, you defend yourself instead of questioning her. And if you take the bait, she wins. Think about it. A loyal woman doesn't have to demand trust. Her actions prove it. Her consistency, her openness, her steadiness speak for her. But an unfaithful woman, she feels the strain of her double life. She knows her phone hides conversations you're not supposed to see. She knows her vague excuses and sudden late nights look suspicious. So, before you can even call her out, she flips the script. "Why don't you trust me?" It's not a question, it's a shield. And the second you rush to reassure her, you give her the power. Picture this: you ask a simple question like, "Who were you with last night?" Instead of answering, her tone sharpens, her eyes narrow, and she fires back with, "Why don't you trust me?" Suddenly, your question vanishes. Now the spotlight isn't on her, it's on your supposed insecurity. That's no accident, that's strategy. Even if she's not aware of it. Here's where most men fail. They scramble. "Of course I trust you, baby." Or worse, "You're right. I shouldn't doubt you." That desperate reassurance buys her more time. It teaches her that words alone can control you. The Stoic man handles it differently. He doesn't argue. He doesn't defend. He stays silent, observing. Because silence exposes more than debate ever could. And in that silence, she panics. She realizes the old trick didn't work. That's when the cracks start to show. Remember this: a faithful woman doesn't need to demand trust. She earns it. Only the guilty insist on it. And when she says, "Why don't you trust me?" without realizing it, she's already confessed. 2. She says, "You're overreacting." When a woman is faithful, she meets your concerns with clarity. She explains, she reassures, she calms you. But when she's hiding something, the moment you question her, she snaps back with, "You're overreacting." On the surface, it looks like she's calming the tension. But look closer. It's not reassurance. It's dismissal. She's not addressing your concern. She's minimizing it. And that's the tell. Psychologists call this gaslighting, manipulating someone into doubting their own perception. An unfaithful woman knows that if she can make you doubt your instincts, she buys time to cover her tracks. Picture it: she's glued to her phone at night, smiling at messages she won't share. You ask her about it. Instead of an explanation, you hear, "You're overreacting." It's nothing. That word "nothing." That's the dagger. Because if it truly was nothing, she'd show you. The fact that she hides it means it's something. Most men fold here. They don't want to look insecure. They apologize. And in that instant, she wins. She learns that all she has to do is label you as overreacting, and you'll silence yourself. The Stoic response: you don't argue. You don't retreat. You observe in silence. Let her words hang heavy in the air. Silence makes her sit in the weight of her own excuse. And that's when nervousness creeps in. And nervousness always reveals the cracks. Understand this: a loyal woman will soothe your doubts. A disloyal woman will mock them. Every time she calls you overreacting, she's showing you her guilt. 3. She says, "I just need some space." Space is the word women use when they're already halfway out. When she's in love, she craves closeness, connection, intimacy, presence. But when she's unfaithful, or preparing to be, she asks for distance. And the excuse she uses is, "I just need space." Now don't get it twisted. Healthy people do need breathing room. But here's the difference: when it's genuine, she's still emotionally present. She explains it clearly, includes you, reassures you. When it's not genuine, that word, space, is just cover for secrecy. It's not about self-care. It's about making room for someone else. Notice the timing. Women don't usually ask for space when everything's solid. They ask when guilt is growing. Space gives them a way to ease their conscience. Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance reduction, rewriting the story to make betrayal feel less like betrayal. She tells herself, we were already drifting. I just needed space. That way, she feels less guilty. Most men misread this. They think giving her space will fix things. But in reality, it speeds things up. Because the space isn't for healing, it's for betrayal. The Stoic man doesn't panic. He doesn't beg. He detaches, observes, and prepares for the truth. Because when she asks for space, she's not requesting, she's confessing. No woman in love craves distance from the man she desires. Only the unfaithful do. 4. She says, it's not what it looks like. This phrase is infamous for a reason. It's the knee-jerk reflex of someone caught red-handed. The unfaithful woman blurts it out without thinking, because her mind is scrambling for escape. If something truly wasn't what it looked like, she'd calmly explain. She'd offer proof. She'd ease your doubts. But when she stammers, it's not what it looks like. That panic is the giveaway. Psychologists call it a reflexive denial response, the brain's attempt to create distance between guilt and exposure. But here's the irony: the moment she says it, she confirms there is something to look at, the brutal truth. If you ever hear those words, chances are, it's exactly what it looks like. 5. She says, you're just being insecure. When a woman is loyal, she reassures you. She meets your concern with honesty. But when she's hiding, she attacks. That's when you'll hear, you're just being insecure. At first, it sounds like an insult. But it's projection. She's the one carrying guilt, hiding secrets. Instead of facing that, she flips it onto you. Suddenly, the issue isn't her secrecy, it's your supposed weakness. Clever, but revealing. This is gaslighting again. By labeling your instincts as insecurity, she weakens your confidence. Because the weaker you feel, the easier it is for her to keep lying. And most men fall for it. They doubt themselves, back down, even apologize. But here's reality: suspicion isn't always insecurity. Sometimes it's instinct. Your gut notices what your brain wants to ignore. The secretive phone, the late replies, the emotional distance, those are signals. And when she calls you, once secure, what she's really trying to do is silence the alarm bell ringing inside you. If you're ready to hear the truths women hope you'll never figure out, hit that subscribe button right now, and drop the word truth in the comments if you've ever heard one of these phrases and felt that gut level suspicion.